In this video, we'll be covering all the important points of NCERT from environmental chemistry chapter. So let's start. Environmental studies deal with the sum of all social, economical, biological, physical, and chemical interpretation with our surroundings. A substance which causes pollution is known as a pollutant. On an average, human being requires 12 to 15 times more air than food. Dichlorophenyl, trichloroethane, DDTs, plastic materials, heavy metals, and many chemical nuclear waste. They are very difficult to remove. Next, we have atmospheric pollution. We should know that atmosphere is not same as or at all the heights. So lowest region of atmosphere in which the human beings along with other organisms live is called troposphere. Extends up to 10 kilometer from sea level. Above troposphere 10 to 50 kilometer above sea level there is a stratosphere. Troposphere is turbulent dusty zone containing air, much water vapor and clouds. This is the region of strong air movement and cloud formation. Stratosphere contains nitrogen, oxygen, ozone and little water vapor. Now, presence of ozone in stratosphere prevents 99.5% of sun's harmful ultraviolet radiations. Now, talking about green gaseous air pollutants, there are oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen sulfide, hydrocarbon, ozone, and other oxidants. Particulate pollutants, they are dust, mist, fumes, smoke are included here. So, gaseous air pollutants, ऑक्साइड्स ऑफ सल्फर में आता है हमारे पास सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड. Sulfur dioxide is a gas that is poisonous to both animals and plants. Even low concentration of sulfur dioxide causes respiratory diseases. Sulfur dioxide causes irritation to eyes resulting in tears and redness. High concentration of sulfur dioxide leads to stiffness of flower buds which eventually fall off from the plants. Uncatalyzed oxidation of sulfur dioxide is slow. However, presence of particulate matter in polluted air catalyzes oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide. So, sulfur dioxide with oxygen forms sulfur trioxide, also promoted by ozone and hydrogen peroxide. Next, oxides of nitrogen. Nitrogen and oxygen oxides are the main constituents of air. These gases do not react with each other at a normal temperature. So at higher altitudes upon lightning, nitrogen dioxide oxidized to nitrate ion. This nitrate ion washed into the soil serves as a fertilizer. N2 plus O2 at 1480-83 Kelvin will form NO. NO react instantly with oxygen to give NO2. Rate of production of NO2 is faster when nitric oxide reacts with ozone in stratosphere. NO plus ozone gives NO2 plus O2. Now, irritant red haze in traffic and congested places due to oxides of nitrogen. Higher concentration of NO2 damage the leaves of plants and retard the rate of photosynthesis. Nitrogen dioxide is a lung irritant that can lead to acute respiratory disease in children. It is toxic to living tissues also. However, nitrogen dioxide is also harmful to various textile fibers and metals. Hydrocarbons are formed by incomplete combustion of fuels. Hydrocarbons are carcinogenic, harm plants by causing aging, breakdown of tissues, shedding of leaves, flowers, and twigs. Oxides of carbon, carbon monoxide, major air pollutant is carbon monoxide, colorless, odorless gas, highly poisonous to living beings because of the ability to block the delivery of oxygen to the organs and tissues, produced as a result of incomplete combustion of carbon. Now it binds to hemoglobin to form carboxyhemoglobin, which is 300 times more stable than oxyhemoglobin. In blood, where the concentration of carboxyhemoglobin reaches 3 to 4%, oxygen carrying capacity of blood is greatly reduced, and this oxygen deficiency result into headache, weak eyesight, nervousness, and cardiovascular disorder. In pregnant women who have a habit of smoking, the increased carbon monoxide level in blood may induce premature birth, spontaneous abortion, and deformed babies. Carbon dioxide is confined to troposphere only. Normally, it forms about 0.03% volume of atmosphere. So, increased amount of carbon dioxide is responsible for global warming. So, global warming and greenhouse effect. 75% of solar energy reaching the earth is absorbed by earth's surface, which increases its temperature. The rest of heat radiates back to the atmosphere. carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, and water vapors. Now, in cold places, flowers, vegetables, and fruits are grown in glass covered areas called greenhouse. An atmosphere traps the sun's heat near the Earth's surface and keeps it warm. This is called natural greenhouse effect because it maintains the temperature and makes the Earth perfect for life. Glass is opaque to infrared radiation thermal region. It partly reflects and partly absorbs these radiation. If amount of carbon dioxide crossing the delicate proportion of 0.03%, the natural greenhouse balance may get disturbed. And greenhouse gases are methane, water vapor, nitrous oxide, CFCs, and ozone. This is a major question asked many a times. And next we have increase in global temperature increases incidence of infectious disease like dengue, malaria, yellow fever, and sleeping thickness. Now, one of the simple things which we can do to reduce global warming is to minimize the use of automobiles. Acid rain. Normally, rainwater has pH 5.6 and H2O plus CO2 will form carbonic acid H2CO3. This carbonic acid dissociates to form H positive ion and HCO3 minus ion. When pH of rainwater drops below 5.6, it is called acid rain. Ground has dry deposition in water, fog and snow are wet deposition. Now, SO2 and NO2 after oxidation and reaction with water are major contributors to acid rain because polluted air usually contains particulate matter that catalyze oxidation. SO2 oxidation forms sulfuric acid and NO2 forms nitric acid. Ammonium salt formed and can be seen as an atmosphere haze, aerosol of particles. Aerosol particles of oxides or ammonium salts in raindrops result in wet deposition. SO2 is also absorbed directly on both solid and liquid ground surfaces and is thus deposited as dry deposition. Now it causes respiratory ailments in human beings and animals. Corrodes water pipes resulting in leaching heavy metals such as iron, lead, copper into drinking water. Now we have reduced the formation of acid rain. We can have the pointers. And catalytic converters must be used in cars to reduce the effect of exhaust fumes on the atmosphere. Main component of the converter is a ceramic honeycomb coated with precious metals, palladium, platinum, and rhodium. Exhaust gases containing unburned fuel, carbon monoxide, and NOx, which pass through converter at 573 Kelvin, converts into CO2 and N. We can also reduce the acidity of soil by adding powdered limestone to neutralize the acidity of soil. Now, resulting acid rain reacts with marble calcium carbonate of Taj Mahal. Calcium carbonate plus sulfuric acid form calcium sulfate, water, and CO2, causing damage to the wonderful monument has attracted the people around the world. The marble is getting discolored and lusterless. The government of India announced an action plan in early 1995 to prevent disfiguring of this historical monument. Now, Taj Trapezium, an area that includes the towns of Agra, Farizabad, Mathura, and Bharatpur, has also used some plans to reduce the use. And we have particulate pollutant. Pollutants are the minute solid particles or liquid droplets in air. Particulates in atmosphere may be viable or non-viable. The viable particulates, example, bacteria, fungi, molds, algae, etc. Human beings are allergic to some of the fungi found in air. They can also cause plant diseases. Non-viable particulates may be classified according to the nature and size. Smoke polluted particulates. Cigarette smoke, smoke from burning of fossil fuel, garbage and dry leaves, oil smokes, etc. Dust is composed of fine solid particles over 1 micrometer in diameter. Sand from sandblasting, sawdust from woodworks, pulverized coal, cement and fly ash from factories, dust from etc. Mist, sulfuric acid, mist and herbicides and insecticide fumes. Organic solvent metal and metallic oxide form fume particles. The effect of particulate pollutants are largely dependent on particle size. Dust fumes mist are dangerous to human health. Particulate pollutants bigger than 5 microns are likely to lodge in the nasal passage where particles of about 10 micron enter into lungs easily. Lead used to be a major air pollutant emitted by vehicles. Lead interferes with the development and maturation of RBCs. So the word smoke is derived from smoke and fog. And classical smoke occur in cool humid climate. It's a mixture of smoke, fog, and sulfur dioxide called as reducing smoke. Photochemical smoke occurs in warm, dry, and sunny climate. Action of sunlight on unsaturated hydrocarbon and nitrogen oxides called oxidizing smoke. Formation of photochemical smoke. The two of pollutants that are emitted by hydrocarbon, unburnt fuels, and nitric oxide NO. And NO2 with H nu gives NO plus O, and O plus O2 gives ozone. The ozone formed in above reaction reacts with NO formed to regenerate NO2. NO2 is a brown gas sufficiently high level can contribute to haze. NO plus ozone will gives us NO2 plus oxygen. Ozone is a toxic gas and NO2 and ozone are strong oxidizing agent. React with unburnt hydrocarbon in polluted air. Formaldehyde, acrolein, and peroxyacetyl nitrate pan. Now, effect of photochemical smoke. The common components of photochemical smoke are ozone, nitric oxide, acrolein, formaldehyde, and peroxyacetyl nitrate pan. Both ozone and pan act as powerful eye irritants. Ozone and nitric oxide irritate the nose and throat, and their high concentration causes headache, chest pain, dryness of throat, cough, and difficulty in breathing. Photochemical smoke leads to the cracking of rubber and extensive damage to plant life. It also causes corrosion of metal, stone, building material, rubber, and painted surfaces. And then we have primary precursors of photochemical smoke are NO2 and hydrocarbon. The secondary precur- precursors such as ozone and pan. So plants, example, pinus, junipers, quercus, pyrus, and vitis can metabolize nitrogen oxide. And then we have ozone, which protect us from harmful UV radiations of lambda 255 nanometer. Radiation causes skin cancer in humans. Oxygen will form O plus O, and O plus O2 will form ozone. Ozone is thermodynamically unstable, decomposes to molecular oxygen. Dynamic equilibrium exists between the production and decomposition of ozone molecules. Main reason of ozone layer depletion is believed to be release of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, known as pherones. So these compounds are non-reactive, non-flammable, non-toxic organic molecules and therefore used as refrigerators and air conditioners. So CF2Cl2 forms chloride radical and CF2Cl radicals. Chlorine radical with ozone will form ClO radical plus oxygen. ClO radical with O form Cl radical again. Chlorine radicals are continuously regenerated and cause breakdown of ozone. CFCs are transporting agent for continuously regenerating chlorine radicals into stratosphere and damaging ozone layer. So depletion of ozone layer, commonly known as ozone hole over the South Pole. Polar stratospheric clouds are found over Antarctica. Again, why reaction steps are there. And HOCl will form OH radical and Cl radical, and Cl2 forms 2Cl radical. Now we have UV radiation led to aging of skin, cataract, sunburn, skin cancer, killing of many phytoplankton, damage to fish productivity, etc. Plant protein get easily affected by UV radiation, which leads to harmful mutation of cells. Increase in UV radiation damage plant paints and fibers, causing them to fade faster. Easily identified source or place of pollution is called up as point source. Municipal and industrial discharge pipes where pollutants enter the water source. Non-point source of pollution are those where a source of pollution cannot be easily identified. Agriculture runoff from farm animals and crop plants, acid rainstorm, water drainage from street parking lots and lawns cause of water pollution pathogens. The most serious water pollutants are the disease-causing agents called pathogen Escherichia coli, Streptococcus faeculus, which cause gastrointestinal diseases. Organic waste, excessive phytoplankton growth within water is also a cause of water pollution. Amount of amount of oxygen that water can hold in solution is limited. In cold water, dissolved oxygen can reach a concentration up to 10 ppm parts per million, where oxygen in air is about 200,000 ppm, right? Next is, if concentration of dissolved oxygen of water is below 6 ppm, the growth of fish gets inhibited. Amount of oxygen required by bacteria to break down organic matter present in certain volume of a sample of water is called biochemical oxygen demand. Amount of BOD in water is a measure of amount of organic material in the water in terms of how much oxygen will be required to break it down biologically. Clean water would have BOD value of less than 5 ppm, whereas highly polluted water could have a BOD value of 17 ppm or more. Chemical pollutant, water soluble inorganic chemicals that include heavy metals such as cadmium, mercury, and nickel, and metals can damage kidney, central nervous system, liver, etc. Acids like sulfuric acid and salts, sodium and calcium chloride are water soluble chemical pollutants. Next is industrial chemicals like polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, which are used as cleansing solvent, detergents, and fertilizers. PCBs are suspected to be carcinogenic. Fertilizers contain phosphates as additives. The addition of phosphates in water enhances algae growth. Such profuse growth of algae covers the water surface and reduces the oxygen concentration in water. This process, in which nutrient enriched water bodies support a dense plant population which kills animal life by depriving it of oxygen, result in the subsequent loss of biodiversity. It is known as eutrophication. Next is fluoride. Its deficiency in drinking water is harmful to man, causes diseases such as tooth decay. Now, concentration up to 1 ppm or 1 mg per decimeter cube. The fluoride ion make the enamel on the teeth much harder by converting hydroxyapatites Ca3PO4 whole twice dot CaOH whole twice the enamel on the surface of tooth into much harder for fluorapatite 3 times Ca3PO4 whole twice dot CaF2. Now, fluoride ion concentration about 2 ppm causes brown mottling of teeth. Excess fluoride over 10 ppm causes harmful effect to bones and teeth and reported from some parts of Rajasthan. Lead. The prescribed upper limit concentration of lead in drinking water is about 50 ppb. Lead can damage kidney, liver, reproductive system. Sulfate. Excessive sulfate greater than 500 ppm in drinking water causes laxative effect. Otherwise, at moderate level, it is harmless. Nitrate. The maximum limit of nitrate in drinking water is 50 ppm. Diseases such as methemoglobinemia, go, methinoglobinemia, blue baby syndrome, other metals. Now, maximum prescribed concentration of some metal in drinking water: iron, magnesium, aluminum, copper, zinc, and cadmium. Next is, avoid the use of pesticide like DDT, malathion, malathion. Add a few crystal of potassium permanganate or bleaching powder to water tank of your house. Insecticide, pesticide, herbicide cause soil pollution. Prior to World War II, nicotine by planting tobacco plants in the crop field were used as pest controlling. During World War II, DDT was found to be of great use in control of malaria and other insect-borne diseases. Therefore, after the war, DDT was put to use in agriculture to control the damage caused by insects, rodents, weeds, and various crop diseases. However, due to adverse effects, its use has been banned in India. Pesticides are basically synthetic toxic chemicals which with ill ecological repercussions. Now, organic toxins such as eldrin and dieldrin. Organic toxins are water soluble, water insoluble, and non biodegradable. These high persistent toxins are therefore transferred from lower level to higher trophic level through food chain. Over the time, the concentration of toxin in higher animals reach a level which causes serious metabolic and psychological disorder. At each trophic level, the pollutant gets 10 times concentrated, and in response to high persistence of chlorinated organic toxins, a new series of less persistent or more biodegradable products called organophosphates and carbamates have been introduced. But these chemicals are severe nerve toxins and hence more harmful to humans. Herbicides such as sodium chlorate, NaClO3, sodium arsenite, Na3AlSO, Al, Na3ASO3. Now, most herbicides are toxic to mammals. They are not persistent and as organochlorides. Like organochlorides, these two become concentrated in the food web. Some herbicides cause birth defects. Studies show that Cornfields sprayed with herbicides are more prone to insect attack and plant disease than fields that are weeded manually. Now, industrial waste. Industrial solid waste are also sorted out as biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste are generated by cotton mills, food processing units, paper mills, and textile factories. Non-biodegradable waste are generated by thermal power plants which produce fly ash, integrated iron and steel plants which produce blast furnace slag and steel melting slags. Industries manufacturing aluminium, zinc, and copper produce mud and tailings. Fertilizer industries produce gypsum. Hazardous waste such as inflammables, composite explosives, or highly reactive substances are produced by industries dealing in metals, chemicals, drugs, pharmaceutical dyes, and pesticides, rubber goods. New innovations have led to different use of waste material. Nowadays, fly ash, slags, and slag from the industrial are utilized by cement industry. Large quantities of toxic waste are usually destroyed by controlled incineration, whereas small quantities are unburnt along with factory garbage in open bins. Fuel obtained from plastic waste has high octane rating. It contains no lead and is known as green fuel. Produced electricity from garbage, and the remaining product is used as manure. Biogas is used to produce electricity. So next is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Clean India Mission launched by Government of India. Two programs are being implemented under the broad umbrella of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Swachh Bharat Mission Urban and Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. So SBMU primarily aims at making urban India free from open defecation and achieving 100% scientific management of solid waste in country. The SBMG targets to bring about an improvement in general quality of life in rural areas by promoting cleanliness and hygiene, eliminating open defecation. It is accelerating its effort to achieve the goal of universal sanitation coverage by 2 October 2019, which is the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. If you have participated in such an event, then write down. Domestic waste, small beans, community beans, disposable sites separated into biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable materials such as plastic, glass, metal scraps are sent for recycling. Biodegradable waste are deposited in landfills and are converted in compost. Now, green chemistry is a production process that would bring about minimum pollution or deterioration into the environment. And Organic solvents such as benzene, toluene, carbon tetrachloride are highly toxic. Chemical reaction involve reactant attacking a reagent and the medium in which the reaction takes place. Extent of any reaction depends upon physical parameters like temperature, pressure, use of catalyst. During synthesis, care must be taken to choose starting material that can be converted into end product which yield 100% approximate. Water has high scientific heat and low volatility. Water is cost effective, non-inflammable, and devoid of any carcinogenic effect. Dry cleaning of clothes, tetrachloroethane was earlier used as solvent for dry cleaning. These days, hydrogen peroxide is used for purpose of bleaching clothes in process of laundry, which gives better results and make use of lesser amount of water. Bleaching of paper. Chlorine gas was earlier used for bleaching of paper. These days, hydrogen peroxide with suitable catalyst which perform the bleaching action of hydrogen peroxide is used. Synthesis of chemicals. Ethanol is commercially prepared by one-step oxidation of ethene, presence of ionic catalyst in aqueous medium with a yield of 90%. Green solution to green clean turbid water. Powder of kernel or tamarind seeds has been found to be an effective material to make municipal industrial wastewater clean. It's a non-toxic, biodegradable, and cost-effective material. This powder is usually discarded as agricultural waste, and the present practice is to use alum to treat such water. It has been found that alum increases toxic ions in treated water and causes diseases. So what is our responsibility as a human being to protect environment? Thank you.